Well, in our final session of this mini series that we've been doing on knowing God's will, we want to talk about frequently asked questions. I think the first one that I have encountered is, where do my feelings fit into discovering the will of God? You know, human emotions are corrupted because of the fall of Adam. We cannot trust our emotions, for they feed our self-centeredness. To attempt to incorporate a place for human emotions in discerning the will of God is nothing less than futile. Suppose for a moment that someone close to you greatly offends you. The offense was of the deepest magnitude, creating intense personal pain and sorrow. This person discovers what has happened and seeks your forgiveness. If we attempt to build a role for our human emotions into knowing what God's will is, we would not forgive when asked for forgiveness. We would say, we don't feel like it right now. Second question, does God ever grant the desires of my heart as part of his personalized will for my life? The psalmist says in Psalm 37, verse 4, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. The word delight has the following concept. It means to be soft and pliable. The concept behind desire means request. Let's take an example. Glass is brittle. It breaks easily. Unless it is heated, you cannot shape it. Have you ever seen someone who blows glass, a glass blower? What wonderful shapes they are able to make when the glass is heated. They only come, these wonderful shapes, by heating the glass and the careful bending and shaping of the pliable material. Likewise, the Lord will begin gently to mold our desires to be like his. As we are soft to his touch, I assume his desires as if they were my own desires. What happens if I am deliberately disobedient to the will of God? Well, maybe you want to pause this and go read the book of Jonah. It is a story of transparent honesty of a prophet who willfully disobeyed God's will for his life. If he could be interviewed today, he would claim legitimate reasons of fear towards the people he was being sent to. Human fear cuts no mustard when we have the declared will of God. Why? Where the will of God is declared, so also are his divine resources. Disobedience will be punished. We will be given another opportunity to do God's will. A danger comes upon a second opportunity is the failure to learn the lesson which changes our hearts. Now follow this. Jonah only conformed out of fear of a greater power, God. At the end of the book, Jonah is outwardly doing the will of God. Inwardly, he is a child, stubborn, selfish, and angry. Has he performed the will of God? Outwardly, God used him. Inwardly, Jonah missed the blessing of forgiveness, mercy, grace, and loving kindness in his own life, as well as the lives of these people who were viewed as his enemy. I lose when I disobey God. I lose even more when I only perform his will. What about the unbeliever? Doesn't God have a will for them? Absolutely he does. It's called salvation. Oftentimes the unbeliever will pray to God in a moment of crisis regarding a matter? Has God revealed his will to this pagan? Or is this person experiencing the common grace of God, which is upon all of God's creation? If God's will is a family matter, salvation must be in place first. And then finally, can I be doing the will of God and not know it? Well, according to Chuck Swindoll, he says yes. He states that many believers are doing the will of God and do not even know it. However, there comes a point in which this mystical approach has to give way to the rational and the spiritual dimensions in which God moves. Paul repeatedly in his prison epistles to the Philippians and the Colossians includes in his prayer that they would know the will of God. God wants us to know his will. If a believer is walking around doing the will of God and does not know it, I don't quite know how to answer that question, except that is not the norm that the Bible teaches and that we have covered for 10 lessons. I'm glad that you have joined us in this discussion about God's will. I hope that you will continue to keep an eye on our blog spot for additional teachings that have been posted there for you. Keep an eye on it, check it frequently, and I'm sure you will find something that can help you in your walk and help you disciple or counsel other people. Thank you so much.